Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sunday Afternoon Smokes, your casual conversation podcast from the upstate of South Carolina. My name is Chris. I'm your host. I'm also the owner and operator of the Cigar Box, a mobile cigar bar serving the upstate and beyond. If you've been listening to these conversations and enjoy them, the best way you can support the show is just simply to give it a follow, and I'd appreciate it. Today, I have the opportunity to sit down with Kimberly Bertrand. Bertrand?
Both. You got either.
Either
Yep.
or, okay. Kimberly Bertrand, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
I like to just let my guests introduce themselves. So
Okay.
take a minute.
Dang, the pressure's on
No,
instantly.
nobody's ever said anything about that, but I feel like if I'm going to bring guests on my show and then I say, I'm interviewing such and such, this is what they do, these are their bona fides, it like boxes them in, and they have to act how I've described them versus I just want people to be themselves.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's why I like to let people introduce themselves, say whatever you want, as much as you want or as little as you want, and just be who you are.
Got it.
So you do that, and while you introduce yourself, I'm going to light a cigar.
Okay. Well, I'm going to watch you light the cigar because I've actually never seen it done.
Well, I hate to disappoint. I'm not smoking a regular. I'm just smoking a cigarillo
Okay.
today. This is basically a cigarette-sized cigar, and we'll get in just a second. We'll get
It's a whole new
into
world for me.
kind of what you said, not in cigars, but you quit smoking when you're 26 and all that.
did.
So we'll talk about it, but I'm not going full cigar today. I'm
Oh,
going
dang, okay.
cigarette style. I mean, I can stop and go in and
No,
get
it's okay. I'm always down to learn something new.
Okay, so anyway, introduce yourself and then
Well,
we'll get started.
you did the hard part pronouncing my last name. I say Bertrand. My name is Kim Bertrand. I am new to Greenville from San Diego. I moved here 1 year ago in January. Born and raised in Texas, though. I am an esthetician. I've owned my own skincare company for 9 years. Let's see what else. I have 2 dogs, 2 nieces. I love to hike. I love to be outside. My favorite color is black, and I love to cook. That's me in a nutshell.
That's Kimberly Bertrand right there. You and I have it. Just reading some of the information you shared with me before the show, we have a very similar geographical. I was born and raised in Texas, moved to California, came to South Carolina.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
When I read that, I was like, no way.
Okay,
Yeah.
where in Texas?
Southeast Texas, hour and a half east of Houston off of Interstate 10, Beaumont, if you've
Okay.
ever heard of it.
Yeah, for
Texas
sure.
is a big place.
It's a big place.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Port Arthur?
Yes.
Okay. I grew up, I was born in Nederland, Texas at Mid Jefferson Hospital, which doesn't exist anymore. But grew up in the little town of Groves, Texas, part of Port Neches Groves High School.
Okay. Small town.
Huh?
Small
Are you
town.
familiar with
I've heard
Port
of it.
Neches Groves? You've heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, grew up in Port Neches, grew up in Groves, went to P&G, as we call it, P&G High School, and then moved to Southern California for Bible college
Okay.
and spent 3 years there getting my bachelor's of religious education. Then I pastored for 12 years in Southern California. And then in 2019, packed up and moved to this area.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So
I
that's,
actually want to know more about that later, though.
yeah,
I'm
we'll
sure. 'cause
talk all
I'm not
about it.
interviewing you, but
No. So what part of Texas are you from?
do you know where Sherman is?
I've heard of it.
That's where I'm from. North Texas, about an hour north of Dallas.
Okay. Yeah.
Almost to Lake Texoma. So small town. I grew up in a town. It's actually called Howe. Howe. There's, when I lived there, 1,800 people. Very small town. But yeah, then I moved to Dallas when I was about 20,
Mm-hmm.
and then San Diego at 28.
My mom grew up in the DFW area.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. She was born in Meridian, Mississippi, and then her mom and dad moved to the DFW area for a while. And I'd have to go back and ask her. I don't know how they wound up down in the southeast part of Texas, but that's where she met my dad. Because my dad, down in that coastal area, there's just refineries everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oil refineries, and my dad worked in the oil refinery.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom worked in a Dairy Queen.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, worked in a Dairy Queen. And she got smitten with my dad. She would tell the story that on the regular, and I don't know if he was on lunch break or what he was doing, but he would come in his blue GTO through the Dairy Queen drive-thru.
Just to see her?
Well, initially just to get ice cream and a burger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she saw him, and I don't know how. I mean, that was the initial introduction, but I don't know how it turned into, hey, do you want to go out sometime? I mean, I'm 46. You think I would know this?
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you not know that?
I don't know.
Well, maybe because you're not a girl. That's the first thing I would be asking.
That's true. I'm very far from a girl, judging by the size of my beard. But yeah. So so you in Howell, Texas? No, Sherman. Howell's near Sherman.
Sherman's what I use as a reference point to test if somebody kind of knows.
That's like
North
me
Texas.
asking if you know where Beaumont is.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And that's why when you went from Beaumont to Grove.
Yeah, Groves.
I was like, Groves, yeah. Then I'm like, I can go from Sherman to Howell.
Gotcha. Howell, and then to DFW.
Dallas, yes.
And then to San Diego. We'll circle back to that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm curious. Because in the years I spent in Southern California, my pastoring years were in Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
Which I'm sure you know where that is.
Sure.
Yeah, just the Inland Empire, and it's the best of all the Inland Empire cities.
If you got to be inland, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, if you have to be inland, you want to be in Cucamonga.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, so I typically offer my guests a cigar, but you said that you quit cigarettes when you were 26.
Yeah, I did.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And you've never had a cigar, and you think they're probably yucky.
I did write the word yucky.
Yeah, you did. You used the word yucky. But you did say you're curious about cigar culture the way people are curious about wine culture.
Yes. So I don't drink anymore. But I used to love to go, being from California, going to all the vineyards and wine tasting. And there's just such a culture around wine, coffee, tea. It's when people are passionate about something that they enjoy to do in their like relaxation time. Like I love the culture of things. I don't have to love the thing necessarily or want to do the thing, but I like to see why people like it, how they like. I love how people smell the notes in wine or describe. Like I'm sure there are notes in a cigar. I can just guess. Yeah, and people or in whiskey. Yeah, huge art to that. I don't love whiskey. Whiskey definitely does not love me, but I think it's a very cool culture. So that's why I was like, if there's something to learn, I would love to learn about it. I don't think I want to smoke one.
Sure. No, you don't have to.
Plus, I'm an esthetician. We can't do these things. Our skin, right? Which you have pretty good skin, so I can't.
Well, it's very kind of you. I intended to shave before today before you got here, just so I could look a little more appropriate. I'm looking a little rugged for a esthetician to show up and do her thing on my.
I'm the least judgy esthetician
on my podcast, but I will say, I've been blessed genetically.
It's mostly
it's as far as my skin goes.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. I did not struggle with acne or anything like that growing up as a kid. And to this day, really, I mean, my skin, as far as I know,
I have great skin.
It works.
Yeah. So that cigars probably are not the culprit with bad skin. Or people who smoke cigars are not automatically going to get bad skin.
That's true. But I have heard, I don't know, and you can tell me, all the people that are like smoking cigarettes all the time, they get all the little wrinkles around their lips.
Mm-hmm.
Is like cigarettes and straws always, is that a real
Do you want me to
thing?
tell you the truth, what I think?
Yeah, I absolutely want to tell the truth.
I think it doesn't matter. I don't think it factors. My mother has smoked a pack and a half of cigarettes a day since she was, I don't know how old, since I've been alive. She looks great. I think
it's a genetic disposition.
Everything is, I think most everything is, first I think it's genetics, then I think it's your lifestyle as far as do you sleep well, do you have high stress? Do you eat pretty good, do you stay hydrated? I don't know. I know a lot of estheticians would probably really want to battle me over that. Same with sun. I don't think the sun makes you wrinkly.
No.
That wrinkly. I don't think it's bad for you.
This is a show where people share their opinions. It's
this is my true opinion. Yeah. Are cigarettes bad for you? Probably. Do I think that they're going to move the needle as far as how you look real far if everything else is pretty dialed in? I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's what I personally think.
Okay.
I mean, I smoked a pack a day from age 14 to 26. You would think that there'd be some visible damage there.
I can't see a thing.
See?
No, I don't.
See?
I wouldn't know what should be looking for.
Cigarettes get a bad rap for a reason. I get it, but I don't think they make you look old.
Yeah. But do they make you look cool?
It depends on what you think is cool.
That's right.
Because some people can pull it off. I can't. I would probably look like a big turd with a cigarette in my hand. But some people just look really cool. My mom looks really cool with a cigarette in her hand.
Sure.
I don't. It doesn't.
Well, I was talking about this with Josiah Hartline when he was on my podcast several weeks ago. We talked about just kind of, if you see Steve McQueen in a photo with a cigarette.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Him, or who's the other guy? James Dean.
Gotta have a cigarette.
With a cigarette. Like, I don't know. There's something there with the aesthetic.
Yes.
Of it all.
It needs to be there, almost.
Right.
I don't.
But I agree with you. It's got to be a genetic disposition. Like if you are 75, and I don't mean this to be unkind. I just don't. Maybe I don't know if your skin is really saggy and wrinkly at 75. I would guess there's a big genetic component to that. And by the way, I'm not a geneticist. I'm a cigar smoking podcast host.
I'm not a geneticist either. I've just seen enough dang faces in my 20-year career that putting two and two together, like, you're going to be fine if you take care of yourself for the most part.
Yeah.
Genetics play a big role.
Sure. So you jump onto the cigarette bandwagon at 14.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
It's just a small town. Everybody smoked cigarettes. There were always cigarettes around. My grandparents smoked. My mom smoked.
Pull that, or you can just swing it in. Yeah, there you go.
Do I need to repeat myself?
Nope, you're good.
I wasn't smoking a pack a day at 14. That started probably about 8.
Your first pack of cigarettes ever. I ripped the whole pack.
I'd sneak over to my mom's little pack of cigarettes every now and then and just swipe one.
Yeah.
Or my friends, we'd go to the skating rink and everybody stole a cigarette from their parents. We'd go meet in the back of the skating rink and pretend to smoke. Nobody inhaled, I don't think.
Yeah.
But we just thought it was cool. It was cool. We were it was super edgy. All the people that we idolized back then would smoke cigarettes. Musicians. It was cool. So we just felt really cool. Yeah. It's probably about 13 and 14.
And fast forward 12 years and you're 26 and you're like, I think I've had enough of this.
I'd been an esthetician for a few years already. And so it's not really great to smoke when you're touching people's faces all day. You'd have to be really diligent
your fingers have to stink.
You had to be really diligent. So, of course, I switched to menthols because I thought, surely these will smell better. They don't. Then I started dating somebody at 26 and I hid it from people that I smoked. At that point, nobody really knew that I smoked because I was an esthetician. So I started dating somebody when I was 26, and I think I remember him saying, I would never date a smoker. That's the most disgusting thing. And I was like, oh, crap. Okay. So then I just kind of was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done with it. So then I just didn't smoke anymore.
Just went cold turkey?
Just stopped smoking, yeah.
Really? Good for you.
That's how I was with alcohol, too. I just was tired of it 2 years ago at the end of this month. I just was like, I'm done with it, and then I quit drinking. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy bourbon and rye and rum and whiskey and, cocktails. I don't drink to excess. I just do it because I enjoy it here and there, but I don't, maybe one day I'll just be like, meh. Because it's not a cheap hobby.
No. And that does affect your skin, alcohol.
Really?
It does.
How?
Yeah. Oh, the breakdown, the way the body breaks it down, glycation, it makes you puffy. Yeah, I can usually see a heavy drinker. Not always, but you can see it in the face. The little lines. It dehydrates you really badly. So the puffiness, wine makes you just puffy. And I loved my 2 glasses of wine at the end of my work day. And I'm just like, I'm just done with this. I'm done trying to depuff myself. Just going to stop drinking this wine.
Yeah. So now it's coffee.
Too much coffee. So much coffee. If you have to have a vice, though, coffee's a good one.
It's not bad.
It's not the worst.
What kind of coffee do you drink?
Black.
Oh man, you're a grown woman.
I know, I should. But that goes back to as much coffee as I drink, every now and then I'll treat myself to a yummy sweet coffee, and then I always regret it because I'm like, it just tastes like garbage. I like really just good coffee, black coffee.
Where do you get your coffee?
I make mine at home. So I've been into instant coffee actually lately. I started it, I was driving cross country back and forth, and hotel coffee was just not working.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I just got done with a trip to Texas and back 2 weeks ago. I mean, I'm grateful that there's hotel coffee, but it's not great.
It's not good. And the coffee is like the thing that makes you happy in the morning. And I was just like, I don't want to be sad. I'm drinking sad coffee. So I got my own little travel hot water boiler, my instant coffee, what's it? Cafe Busuelo? I can't ever say the word. I don't know. It's delicious. And I don't know if you've ever heard the whole, there's tons of mold toxins in coffee, but not in dehydrated coffee.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I felt like maybe it's a healthy switch, but it's really good.
Okay.
But local coffee, I love. I don't know if you've been to Flying Fox.
Never even heard of Flying Fox.
In Greer, it is the best coffee shop. The best.
All right, I need to take a note for the people that I tag in this episode when it drops.
You have to go.
Flying Fox.
Yes, if you like to drink black coffee.
I don't.
Oh, what coffee do you drink?
What coffee with just a splash of cream?
Okay, so that's blackish.
Sure.
You're not drinking like lattes and.
I mean, I will. I'll drink lattes, or I prefer lattes to cappuccinos, but I'm not. No, I'm not going to Starbucks and ordering frappuccinos and all that. So when I make coffee here in the morning, it's just coffee and a splash of cream.
Okay.
I just can't do black coffee. It's not for me.
I love it. I don't know why.
So anyway, Flying Fox.
Flying Fox, they have their music dialed in. The lighting is perfect. It's just a very cool spot. You'll know when you walk in why I recommended it.
Okay.
It's very cool.
Well, if you ever happen to get over to the Seneca part of South Carolina, drop into my really good friends at Blackwater Roasters because they roast their own.
I love a coffee. I'll drive for good coffee. I love to try new coffee places.
They are fabulous. They're really good friends of mine, and their coffee is excellent.
I'll put that on my list.
Yep. All right. Let's jump into what you do, skincare. And a lot of people probably think that skincare is something cosmetic, right? Like moisturizers, facials. I don't know. Want to look younger, but if you remember back to grade school biology, your skin is the body's largest organ.
Exactly.
So when somebody asks you what you do, how do you explain to them your work?
That's a good question. I tell them first that I'm an esthetician, and I just kind of see where they take it with that, because
how many people even know what an esthetician is?
Shockingly, a lot of people know, and then they know I do facials. And everybody, of course, wants me to instantly start analyzing their skin. For me, and when people want to know more, I'll go more in depth into it. But for me, skincare has always been less about treating people's skin and faces, although that is upfront what it is. It's always been more of a bridge for me to treat the person in whatever they feel or need. And I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So when you're an esthetician, you're touching somebody. It is a very kind of intimate exchange. So although I'm doing facials, I'm analyzing their skin, I'm giving their face what it needs. I found over the years that what I do is more giving their spirit kind of what it needs. Just a moment to decompress, relax, talk about what they want. So I let my clients really lead. My consultation kind of speaks to this. They get to tell me what they want for their skin and what their goals are, and then I build everything for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that question, what do you do? It's very broad. So to easily say I do facials just means I rub product on somebody's skin, they lay in a facial bed, and they leave with glowy skin. But I really give an experience for people who not only want to have healthy, pretty skin, because we all do, but people who need more like personal care.
Yeah. I would liken that to my view of going to the barber for a guy. I've always told people that ask why I don't just go to a place like, Great Clips or Supercuts. Number one, I'm not trusting those. Nothing against those people. They do honest work. They've got their whatever, cosmetology, whatever, they can cut hair. I'm not trusting the people at Super Clips with this beard. I'm going to a legit barber,
yes.
Right? But going to the barber for me is not it's not so much about just having my hair cut and my beard trimmed as it is it's a de-stressing, relaxing, it's like the man's version of a woman going to get a manicure pedicure.
Exactly.
Because she's going to cut my hair and trim my beard, but Kelsey Rampy over at Jack's Parlor, she does this like coconut face scrub massage thing on my face and beard, and it's so de-stressing and relaxing, and I just get to sit and let go. Like, whenever I go to the barber, I don't like to talk. I just like to sit in the chair, close my eyes, and let them work and just relax.
Yeah.
So I'm having a service performance.
And you get to choose that experience, and they don't force you to talk if you don't want to.
Right.
It's, it's a moment where, because I feel like a lot of us all throughout our days, we're caring for so many people and things, and we're looking outward so much. Like we don't, and I don't know men, but a lot of women don't really spend a lot of time focusing on their own wants and needs. So to have my clients be able to come in for an hour and a half, and they have somebody solely dedicated for that hour and a half where I want nothing other than to serve her needs, whether she wants to talk, whether she wants to be quiet, whether she needs to cry, whether she needs to laugh, have questions asked about her, needs to vent. It's all about what they need, because rarely will we ask for that kind of attention. And that's what I like to give my clients, like whatever you need. So that's why I say, what do I do? Facials. But it's like whatever they need. They're going to walk out with beautiful skin. That's a given. I ask them about their skin, what are their goals for their skin. But it's almost an energetic exchange. Like your barber probably knows what you need just by putting her hand on your shoulder or touching your scalp. She's probably that dialed in. So a really good technician, whether it's hairstylist, esthetician, nail technician, barber, they know by putting their hands on you what mood you're in, what you need, how to read your energy, and not in a woo-woo way. I'm not an energy reader.
No, but you can feel if somebody's tight.
For sure. And you can feel if they're upset. You can feel if they're sad. You can feel if they're holding tension. And taking yourself out of the equation, and this is where a lot of technicians fail. Their goal is to, okay, I've got to get this client on product. I've got to, they're making it about them, about being the problem solver, the hero, the skin expert, which you can quietly be that, but you have to take yourself out of it. It's all about the client. And very few people ever get moments like that where something gets to be all about them, because the second they leave and they go back into their normal life, nothing's about them again. They got to go home and feed kids, do dishes, and then work and walk dog. Nothing is about them again. And that's what a lot of women have said to me. They're like, I just look forward to this hour and a half all month. And that's the best thing I could ever hear.
Yeah.
Better than my skin looks great, because I know I'm going to make their skin look great. Like, yes, I already know this. But when they look forward to their time because it's about them solely, that's what I do.
It's an escape from the pressure of life.
Sure.
I mean, and men, you're right, are by and large the same, especially if a guy is a husband, doubly if he's a father.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on what his work life is like, if he's way up the chain of command, that's all he does all day is take care of people.
Yep.
And then he comes home to take care of more people, take care of his wife, take care of his kids.
Yep. And does anybody ask at any point during the day, how are you? Are you okay? Are you handling everything?
No, they don't.
Is everything, do you need to talk? No, they don't.
Yeah.
And to have a barber, or even if a lot of men go get facials, to have somebody say, how can I support you today? Just that simple. How can I make your day? You're here.
Yeah.
Talk or whatever they need.
I've never had a facial. I don't have much skin exposed, though. You get forehead.
You could do a cheek facial.
A little slice of cucumber on each side.
I know. I have the only male clients I have is because their wives make them come in.
Sure.
And these not poor guys, they enjoy it, but they have you even higher. And I'm like, these wives are funny. Like, do you want me to give his
So what do you do with that?
facial?
You just take care of their forehead?
You do what you can. Yeah. Just like, okay, rub your ears, scalp massage around your eyes, put some cream here, extractions. You just work with the skin you can see.
Sure.
But these wives are so funny. Like, oh, my husband would love this because they're so happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me send my husband in. And he does the experience he loves. But I'm like, he didn't need a facial. But
yeah. I was going to ask you what an esthetician does that most people don't understand, but I think you just pegged it right there.
That's when you had that question written down. I think that's what estheticians do that a lot of people don't understand is that's what we are for people. Anybody can do a facial. Anybody can put product on. Anybody can remove product. Anybody can analyze the skin. You can teach that. What you can't teach and learn is compassion, a servant's heart. It's a true esthetician has that naturally within them and or cultivates it throughout their career. And we have to be very guarded in our own hearts too, because, we see everything from, the happy moments of, oh, I just got engaged. Oh, I just found out I'm pregnant. Oh, I just, my dog had puppies, like anything to, my husband died or had another miscarriage and things that are very heavy and very sad. And it's never about us. And so we do, have to learn to not carry that with us all of the time so that we can continue to give energy to people that's good, if that makes any sense at all.
Where did I hear this? I don't remember where I heard it, if it was from a guest or on a TV show. I don't know. No, I think it was Josiah. I mean, people like you and the barbers and the nail techs and the hairdressers. I mean, y'all are non-licensed therapists.
Oh, for sure.
Psychologists.
And if you've ever been to therapy, I think I'm a better, I don't want some therapist is going to hear me. I think I'm a better therapist than a lot of therapists.
Yeah, people just unload on you because they're relaxed.
They're relaxed. They're relaxed and they feel safe and they're comfortable and they just know that nothing bad's going to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think I've been licensed for 19 years. And, well, when I started out learning all about skincare, I just wanted to fix people's skin. And, my opinions on skincare, a lot of estheticians might disagree with me. It almost really, especially with how available skincare is now with everything's online, it doesn't almost matter. It really doesn't matter what you put on your face at some point. But people need the connection. People need the care. And people need somebody to care enough to tell them they do need direction on what to do with their skin. They need direction on, and yes, I think regular facials are extremely beneficial. I've seen people's skin transform. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but people get so hyper fixated on ingredients and I want my client on this and that and just the skin. Like there's a whole person that needs care at a depth that you're just treating them like another face.
Right.
And I think that's why I've been really successful at what I do, because I don't give better facials than anybody. A facial feels good a facial just feels great. But I think I do that better than most.
Yeah.
The care part.
Sure. Well, you're hitting on something that stood out to me in what you shared with me before the show, that the real purpose is connecting with people and serving them.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this when interviewing various entrepreneurs, especially, I mean, not all of them. Some of it depends on the business they're running, but like at first the conversation's always about the business, the entrepreneur and the business has to grow. And we're talking about marketing and what was the plan and where we're at and how we can grow more. But it doesn't take long if I sit with them long enough to realize that the business is just the tool. And at the end of the day, it's really how are we caring for the people that we serve? And I think that no matter what you're doing with your business, if you're impacting people positively, you're winning.
I agree with you. And I will say that that has not always been my mindset. And I think, let's see, when I started SmartFace 2017, I had no intention. I just wanted to grow a really successful business and make a ton of money. I was really good at what I did. Everybody wanted to get in with me. We grew really fast, and I was very much chasing profit and dollars. And what I know now, let's see. Then I was like, now clearly I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. Then I was not. And you can see night and day the way I operate my company now versus the way I operated my company then. And I can look at the timeline, and I know God was always in it, whether I believed in him or not, because I can see what happened. We had a very successful business, grew way faster than it should have. And when we're talking about serving people, I also have to put in there, for me, that's my clients, but at first it's my team. I serve them. And I did it backwards the first time. And one Saturday, I think it was 2022, around April 2022, my whole team walked out and took about 80% of my clients with them. And I was bitter and I was mad and I was very like, how could they do this? They stole from me, right? And it took me a long time and a lot of literally coming to Jesus and Jesus working on my heart. I still didn't believe in God at that point to realize that I caused that. And now the way I operate my business, let's see, I think I finally came to Christ. It was right around then, 2022. I was starting to kind of figure it out. But, when you build your business with materials, when a fire comes, it burns. That's how my business was. It was hay, straw, paper, wood. Little fire came and it's gone. Trashed. Now my goal is to rebuild my company with the precious materials like metal, gold, jewels, my people, my team. That the fires keep coming. I'm telling you, the fires are hotter than ever, and we just keep staying alive. I don't get it, but God's doing it. I don't know. So I say all that to say, when we're talking about serving people, my number one priority is to serve my team, and then they serve my people, my clients. So that was just a lesson that I learned.
Yeah, no, it's a great lesson. I mean, you're originally building for the temporal, building for the profit, and you realize that you've built upon wood, hay, and stubble. And then the fire comes. I mean, this is all 1 Corinthians stuff.
I know when I read that, I was like, well, I'll be.
Yeah.
And then, really?
And so, the Lord burns down everything you've built. And he's probably there waving his arms like, hello, can't you see me? And I'm trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're just oblivious to what God's doing when he's trying to reach us.
Yeah.
But whenever he finally does, you look back and be like, oh, gosh, how did I not see that? Like I was so blind, or any of the things we tell ourselves. Well, it's true. And now, of course, you're doing the same. It doesn't really matter what you do. And I've said this before, so long as whatever you do is morally respectable.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't really matter what you do. It's how you do it.
Yeah.
And what's the goal and what's the purpose? And like, am I just trying to make money, or am I serving people? Am I just, and in that way of just trying to make money, that means I'm going to extract as much from my employees as possible and compensate them as little as possible. And they're going to be overworked and they're going to be abused and they're all going to walk out.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
And that's how I was shown how to run a business. You have to keep things as lean as possible. And that means payroll, and which I get it, you do. But at some point, you lose sight of what's important. And when you are not, because it's also in the Bible that you have to treat your it doesn't say employees in the Bible, but you have to treat them very, very well.
You should.
You should. You should want to. That should be in your heart. And it's not that I didn't want to. It was just I was so hyper-focused on, well, the goal of this business is one thing. It's to make money. What else is a business for? And we were very good at that. I couldn't understand why they were not happy. I'm like, look what we're doing. I missed it. I missed the mark big time.
Sure. Well, we all do.
I think when God has to circle back to show us something, he makes it hurt a little.
Yeah. That's interesting that you use the word miss the mark. So biblically speaking, in all the studies of the scriptures, we have all of the ologies, right? Christology is the study of Christ. Ecclesiology is the study of the church. Hamartiology is the study of sin. And one of the Greek words translated sin in the New Testament literally means to miss the mark.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. God set the mark here. You missed it. You totally fell short, But he taught you, he reached you, and now you're building same business, different purpose, different practices. And now it's going to build upon gold, silver, and precious stones. And those things, they are refined by the fire, not consumed.
There you go.
So So
we just keep getting stronger.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It is so hard, to be honest. It's very difficult, to move across the country, still try to run my business, having so many changes go on. And this little team of mine, I don't know, they're the best. We just keep growing. We grow together. We get stronger. We build each other up. And it's amazing.
So what was the breaking point? Like, how did you finally get to Jesus?
Oh, man. Well, I've fought it for so long. 2020. So it really started, and this is where I'm like, oh, do I overshare? But I have to. It's part of the story. It's part of it's the only reason.
Let's just start basic. Like, did you grow up in a church-going household?
No.
Okay.
The only time we ever went to church, I would go sometimes with my friends. We would go to church camp.
Sure.
And I remember, there would be these huge revivals and people laying on their face, crying their hands up. And I'm like, wow, why don't I feel that? This is so weird. They clearly feel something I didn't. Then if my mom was Catholic-ish. And so if anybody died, we would go to mass and light candles and say Hail Marys. That was the only time I ever. So no, I wasn't told to. I would have considered myself, I liked to brag about being atheist. I thought that I sounded really cool when I would say that. It makes me cringe saying it out loud now, but no, I was not. I was a yogi. I was vegan. Not that means bad. I'm just saying, paint a picture of who I was in my 20s. Vegan, yogi, hippie, crystals, the whole, Reiki, healing, blah, 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 blah. I was that girl. So I was in a 10-year relationship with somebody, and I won't go into too much detail. It was very toxic and a lot of psychological and emotional, just abuse. A lot of people would truly coin this as a narcissistic abuse situation. And I had just learned at the end of that what that even meant. I had a girlfriend say, this is what you're going through. And I was blind to it, but I was so brainwashed, and your reality becomes completely distorted. I had no idea, but I knew that something was broken. Anyways, I ended up leaving that. But when you leave that situation, you are not, and I've learned a lot about trauma and the way that it affects the body and healing from fight or flight. I've learned a lot about this. So I was in a very broken state, and I was going to therapy. We were doing where they move their fingers around and make you follow EMDR.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not saying that's probably worked for a lot of people. Not saying anything about that, but I had a weird feeling about it. Let's just say I've always had these nudges, but nothing was getting better. I was staying in this cycle of just doom and gloom and just brokenness. And my best friend, Jen, we met in aesthetic school. It's crazy. I think God used the whole aesthetic thing the whole time. She's a huge believer, and she sent me a Bible and she said, I know this is not your thing, but just start in Proverbs. And I was like, fine. Because
Killer book.
I know.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I didn't know anything about it. So I kept, but the thing with, if you know anything about narcissistic trauma or people who have left those long-term relationships, you're very addicted to this person. Right. And so I kept kind of going back, trying to justify. I was in this cycle. Right. And I remember opening Proverbs, and it was the one about a dog returning to its vomit. And I was like, this is in the Bible? And I just dove in. And a few months of, I was still fighting it. And I remember I was in, and when you're that kind of, when you just feel that, you don't feel good. You feel like garbage all the time. You feel broken. And I just remember being in the shower and I started crying. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot. God, if you're real, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Will you just save me? I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And it didn't change instantly then, but then I put more intention. And then I started doing this. Have you heard of 75 Hard?
I've heard, yeah.
So I did 75 Hard, and you have to read 10 pages of a book a day. I'm like, I'm just going to read this Bible, whatever.
It's the best choice you could make.
Oh, I started in Genesis, and then I started going to church. And then this church in Carlsbad, the best, I still listen to this pastor live almost every Sunday. He's the most fantastic Bible teacher.
What's his name?
Dave Menard from The Mission. Well, first I started out at a church called Awaken, and that was a weird mess. Anyways, so I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole.
No, so anyway, you started reading the scriptures, you started going to church.
Yes, exactly. And it just started just slowly, how you say, like, you go through the fire. And little by little, it's been 4 years now. I look back at that girl, I'm like, she's so dead. I don't even know who that girl is anymore. I don't feel any of her. But
well, it's because you're new.
It's new.
If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
He's a new creature. And yeah, that's how I came to Jesus. That's also how I started my skincare line. But and that's when I started to realize the mess that I had made of my own business was because I was taking something. God clearly gave that company to me, even though I didn't even know him or like him. There's no doubt that God gave me that company, and I was just running it like a fool, and he was trying to show me, and he used what he had to use to show it to me. But yeah, so now when I run my business, that is my only, business coaches, I get the value, I see the point, but my only coaching that I need is in the Bible. That's how I run my life, my business.
I love it.
I have to.
Oh,
because
I love it.
I told God in the shower, I said, if you save me, I will do whatever you say. And what he says is in the book.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. So that's it.
It's not hard, people.
It's not that hard.
Oh man, I could just do a whole 2-hour podcast on this alone.
Exactly. But that was also the quit drinking thing. He told me to, he kind of put it on my heart to quit drinking. It's like, this numbs you to me.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you, every time you do this, you get sad and you get anxiety. Well, none of those are from me. Why are you going to keep doing this?
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why it was so easy for me to just be like, okay, duh. No.
Yeah. That's what my father wants me to do, so I'll do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's a fantastic account of your life. That excites me, man. Anything Jesus related gets me excited.
Me too.
Yeah. So walk me through, like, how did you get into the world of the esthetician? You said you went to esthetician school.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that. Was that like straight out of high school? I think I'm going to like this. It would be fun. Or do you fall into it? Or
so, also interesting story. Most estheticians you talk to, why are you an esthetician? Oh, because I love skincare. I love skincare products. I've always loved skin. I love makeup. I knew nothing about that. I first learned of what an esthetician was. I think I was about 21 or 20. I was about 21 because I think I started aesthetic school at 22. I was working at it was one of those, I was an enrollment enrollment assistant. So it was one of those schools, where they would sell programs like billing and coding or like certification courses. So people would come in, I want to learn this skill. I would enroll them in a class. This place that I worked ended up adding a cosmetology and an aesthetic program. So they had to teach me what that was, and they were giving me a tour of the facility. And okay, so you said out of high school, I have to go back a little bit. So I'd already by this point dropped out of 3 colleges. I always knew I wasn't great with school. I barely graduated high school. I was always always on the teacher's nerves. I asked too many questions. I needed to know the answers to why everything. If they couldn't explain to me why, then I just couldn't be bought. It was very, I was not good in school. So then, I grew up with parents who had jobs. They didn't love their jobs. They always dreaded going to work. And I just really feared ending up that way. I'm like, so how do you not hate your job? Like what is there to do? I mean, I'm not going to go to college, clearly. I was like, ugh. So anyways, I'm getting a tour of this cosmetology and aesthetic school. And the director of that school, she opened this door and she's like, and this is the aesthetic program. She opened this door and it was dark, a little bit dark, candle lights going, ambient lighting. There was spa music. And I saw a woman laying down on a facial bed and a woman, an esthetician, sitting behind her doing a facial on her. And I was like, hold on. That's what she does for a living? That's her job? She does not look stressed out. She does not look, and this is my 21-year-old brain.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look like she's upset to be there. She doesn't look like she dreads who would dread going to this? I'm like, okay, I want to do that. I want to sit in a beautifully lit room, listen to spa music, and make somebody feel good. And that's why I chose it. And I didn't even know what skincare was. I think I didn't even wash my face at that point.
Sure.
No idea. I don't even think I wore makeup. So I ended up going to aesthetic school about a year and a half later. And then I fell in love with what it actually was and what was available in that industry and in the world. I traveled the United States training estheticians. I taught for skincare companies. I ran a spa in Dallas. Like, I just fell in love with the industry and then eventually really fell in love with the growth, how much personal growth and development you could get through that, through the industry.
It just sounds to me like so much has changed. Like some of the questions I have down here that I want to ask you, I see where the pivotal moment is, but even like your answers about how you got into this, it was just like, I'm this young woman who's floating around and doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life. And this woman opens this door and it's like, that looks fun. I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why people ask me, I hate it because I think they want, especially women, they want this. Oh, I have always just been so fascinated by the skin, or I had acne my whole life and then I cured it, or they want this very tied to skin story. I don't have that. Barely graduated high school, dropped out of 3 colleges, didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't want to be stressed out or hate my job like all the other adults around me. I didn't want that life. And I saw a door open literally and I was like, I'll have that, please. I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then it's so, everything is what you make it. And I took the opportunity to get a license that would open, I had no idea at the time, so many doors. That is the door that got me to California. That's why I know God knew I was going to be an esthetician before I knew that he knew it was going to save me. He didn't know how long, he knew how long it was going to take. I didn't know, but he knew that was going to save me. I don't know. I know that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to a lot of people when I tell it. And that's why I was asking you earlier, like, I don't know how deep you want me to go with this, because I could sit here and be like, oh yeah, I love skin. I do. I love facials. I love treating the skin. But yeah, this is not the typical esthetician journey.
Sure. No, that's totally fine. You go as deep as you want. And I think deeper is better. Cause I want, one of the things I like to try and do with the podcast is not just talk about somebody's business that they're building, but I want I want people, whoever listen to this, I want them to figure out who Kimberly Bertrand is. Not just talk about the business. Let's talk about the people behind the business and why they do what they do and what they're trying to accomplish. And this helps to flesh that out.
It totally does. Because it's also how I was saying, when do people get a chance to just have an hour where people are pouring into them? We don't get to just sit and say these things out loud. It lives in our brain most of the time. And sometimes when you put the pieces together out loud, it brings more things to life.
Yeah.
Well,
sure. And that's the one thing that I enjoy about my podcast and sitting down with people, because as you know, like, you generally, whether it's clients or friends or whatever, you get to tell bits and pieces of the story here and there. But I host the podcast long form, so you just tell the whole story from beginning to end and just let it all unfold and connect the dots for everybody, and sometimes even for yourself.
It's a lot for myself. Like, when is the last? I don't think I've ever connected all the dots all at one time, which is really interesting. It's an interesting experience for sure.
Yeah, it is a great experience. And let me just stop right here and say, though, that midweek I also do a short solo reflection podcast called Between Sundays. There's no guests, no outlines, just a few thoughts. If you want something reflective between these longer conversations, you can find Between Sundays on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen. So it's one thing to be skilled at something. It's another thing to build a business around it. And I kind of want you to clean up the timeline a little bit for me so I have a clearer picture. So you have SmartFace Ceuticals. Did I say that right?
SF Ceuticals, which stands for SmartFace. SF Ceuticals, yeah.
SF Ceuticals. That's in San Diego.
It's an online brand.
Okay.
I'm the distributor and the manufacturer for a skincare brand.
Okay. What's the spa in San Diego?
SmartFace.
So SmartFace is the spa in San Diego. And then you moved here in 2025.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
SmartFace Greenville is the spa here.
Correct. You talked about how you had a company that was growing fast and all your employees walked out.
Yeah.
Was that in San Diego?
San Diego.
Is that SmartFace?
Yes.
And you just kind of had to start over?
Yeah.
Okay.
In San Diego.
Okay. It's kind of making sense now.
Yes.
That's fine. So you go through, you start the company, it grows really fast, you're chasing dollars. God yanks the rug out from under you, gets your attention, kind of like Job said. Job said he had taken me by the neck and shaken me to pieces. Yeah. Great verse. God gets a hold of you. Okay, Lord, we're going to retool. We'll keep the business, but I'm going to change. I've changed my outlook, or you've changed my outlook, how we're going to handle people, and you're continuing to build it better.
I hadn't changed my outlook on that in that way yet. I was still wrestling big time. I was seeking and believing and learning about God, but I didn't know that I needed to run my business yet with God.
Okay, so
now I'm just like, I got to hire people. I was just rebuild mode.
Sure. So, but when you said you say it on your website, the SmartFace Ceuticals was born from a season of surrender and deep gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So what was happening in your life, and what or to whom were you surrendering?
So SF Ceuticals is a skincare company, a skincare line. And this is where God changed my heart on the whole story, because when I started it, I had one mission. It was from a hardened heart place. When I left that relationship, this skincare line was created through that. I went to Texas, stayed with my sister for a couple of weeks, and was just really kind of, how I said earlier, like broken, but just angry, like really, really, really angry at this person. Like, how could they, blah, blah, blah. And I remember, and I'll tell the truth on this, and it sounds funnier than it is, but I was sitting on the toilet because my sister had because my sister has 2 little kids, and the only peace you can ever find in a house with those children is to lock yourself in the bathroom.
Right.
So I was sitting on the toilet, not using the toilet.
Yeah,
I was just sitting there, bawling my eyes out, so mad, not knowing where my life was going to go. I had kind of just started my spa, and I was just learning the depth of what I was basically entangled. Is that a word? Entwined in?
Entwined.
That type of relationship. I had no idea. I had no idea even what was ahead, but I was mad, and I was like, how did women not know about this? Or people, not even just women, how do people not know about, I didn't know about narcissistic abuse. How do people not know about this? And so I made it my mission. I'm like, I need to find a way to raise money to bring awareness. And what do I do really well? Well, I'm going to create a skincare line so I can raise money for this from a hard, angry place, right? It's like, ugh. And that was 2021. That was 2021, not 2022. 2021. Before the team walked out.
Okay.
So backtrack a little bit. But just this vendetta, right? This had a good intention, but it never kept working out. Branded the skincare line, had it on our shelves. It was selling well in the spa, but I could never, because not yet. I wasn't there. And I didn't know what forgiveness was. I didn't know that I can't go out and bless others if I can't even forgive. So I realized this is actually a very recent realization, which is why I have revisited starting the nonprofit, because that's what I wanted to do. In my mind, this is going to be a nonprofit. We're going to raise money and bring awareness to this awful situation that nobody should ever go through, and they shouldn't, because it's awful. But what was lacking was my understanding of people, of true brokenness and what that is and why that happens and what's lacking. And I was trying to hurt somebody too. Like, I wanted to expose this person. I wanted to make them hurt. I wanted people to hate them. I'm like, they need to know what love and forgiveness is, and I need to know what love and forgiveness is. So God took me on a journey of that. Wouldn't let it move, and the needle couldn't move an inch. And now I'm in a good place with that person. Like, it's just in a good place.
Sure.
Right? I see how things can happen, and you also have to look inward and reflect. Anyways, that skincare line was designed for that. And now what Project 514 is now that I know that we are all awful, broken, we all need a savior, and we're called to be the light of the world, and not to expose darkness by hyper-focusing on dark things, but by putting the emphasis on Jesus and love and loving people. And so what I want to do with this skincare line is, and I'm very much believe, like, put it out there and perfect it later. So I don't know specifically how it's going to contribute, but proceeds of that skincare line, just going out and, like, I want to give micro grants to people who want to go to aesthetic school, help them fund their aesthetic career, coach them. Then we have Glow to Give days, where people who need just a moment of peace can come in and have no cost to them facials, because it's not just about skin, it's about the person, right? So that's kind of where God has taken me on that journey. And I think he's starting to let doors slightly come open, because I've let go of the anger and, like, I need to make this person, like, now that I look back and I'm like, oh, I get it why the doors kept closing. But yeah, putting light into dark places does not mean taking people down or out. It's loving them in spite of how you feel about them, because you got to love them anyways. Does that make sense? I know it sounds crazy. What a weird way to launch a skincare line, but
no,
that's what I did.
If you understand the gospel, if you understand the New Testament, then it all makes perfect sense. Look, Ephesians chapter 2, which is probably my favorite chapter in all the scripture. It says this, and you hath he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience, among whom also we all had our conversation, or that's our manner of living, our conversation in times past, in the lusts of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a pretty picture.
No.
But verse 4 says, but God, who
That gives me chills.
who is rich in mercy,
Mm-hmm.
for his great love wherewith he loved us.
Mm-hmm.
And then over, in Romans 5, it talks about how, I just want to get there because I want to read it properly. It says in verse 6 of Romans 5, for when we were yet without strength, in due time Christ died for the ungodly.
Mm-hmm.
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. But God commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us.
Mm-hmm.
He loved us when we were unlovely.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that when we were yet without strength, in due time, Christ died for the ungodly. Like, we were ungodly and we were evil and wicked, which is why we want to hurt people that hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want retribution. That's just evil.
Yep.
But God says, I love these people.
Uh-huh.
And so he dies to save us. So whenever you when you change your mind or God changes your mind, and he changes your heart, and he changes your life, and you come to the place where I have this business and I want to raise money to raise awareness against narcissism so I can wreck all these people. And he's like, well, wait a minute. Why don't you just use that to serve and love people?
Exactly. Can you imagine how I can't even describe the feeling of reading those verses and having a mirror held up to your face of, you are, Kim, no better. No better. I love him.
There is you.
As I love you. You are not better. You're the same. And I was like, oh, you're right. You're right. Do you know how awful that feels? And good at the same time, freeing and convicting. And like, when God corrects you, oh man, like, you almost want to run away, but yeah, it makes you look at people at their heart and really want to look at them the way Jesus looks at them. Like, their heart is broken too. And people behave specific ways, and we all do, because of a brokenness, and Jesus is missing in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And if we can be anything for each other, just be the little bridge that fixes that little gap. If you can. You're not anybody's Holy Spirit, of course, but what do you think would happen if I went on this rant mission? Let me expose you, which was my mission, because this person is in the public eye, like very known. And like, I was like, everybody's going to know what you did and how long you did it and la la. And then like, no, you bring him back to me. If you can, like, just be good to him.
Yeah.
Like, love your enemy. What? Even that one? Especially that one. Especially that one.
Love your enemies. Pray for those that despitefully use you.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the last thing I wanted to do. And I'll tell you now, and you have to be wise and use discernment. You definitely you can't just go be friends with any, if people are still harming you. We have gone to church together. I did raise we raised 2 kids together. I don't have biological children. I call them my bonus daughters.
Mm-hmm.
We have family. Like, family is always family. And I'll pray for him and care about him forever.
Sure.
And we have open conversations. Do I still have eyes wide open? Sure. We ever gonna be back together? No. But I'm protected. I'm not, that entrapment that I fell for was not because he is bad. It's because I was lacking worth in Christ. My worth was in that man. Stupid. And it's like the things God teaches you.
Yeah.
You know? And so now that I know it, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, people hurt. And it's really hard and it's really sad. And it's just because they don't know the love, how deep that real love is that God just gives us freely. And if we just...
Gotta go get it, man.
It's
free.
It's for free.
It's absolutely free.
It costs you a little bit of your ego.
That's a small price to pay.
Small price to pay.
I mean, look at how much he had to pay.
Exactly.
Look at how much he had to pay for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm worth that much. But, you know.
He does.
I know.
Which is great.
That's
I think about that all
the
the
whole
time.
thing. So anyway, we're not having a podcast. We're having
I know.
church.
Sorry. That's why I'm like, what can I talk about? What can I not talk about?
I love it.
Because I cannot tell the SmartFace story. And it's really funny because I've always tried to tell it in bits and pieces and it never makes sense. I'm like, I need to leave this part out because it's dark. I'm like, I can't leave this part out because it is the part that it's the only part. If that had never happened, I would never have met Jesus.
If there's no darkness, there's no such thing as light.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
If there's no evil, there's no such thing as love.
Mm-hmm.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. And I needed, that had to happen. It had to.
Yeah.
I would have never met Jesus.
Absolutely. So now, SmartFace Ceuticals.
SF Ceuticals.
God, I can't. Yeah. SmartFace, SF, But SF Ceuticals is more than just a product you sell.
It's way more. And Ceuticals it's a term. The term, if you look up Ceuticals, means therapeutic.
Yeah.
And you can take that term in 100 ways, but it's a type of therapy through a little bottle of product.
Uh-huh. How?
That I don't know yet. That I'm still working out. But the sales of that product, when I'm able, and when I don't know what I'm supposed to do yet, but the therapeutic part is there's the healing, the hope, the restoration part for everybody. Like, whoever needs that, I'm sure I will find what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, look, you've been walking this journey now, and the Lord has gotten your attention and showed you X, Y, and Z. So just keep walking the journey. I'm sure he'll make it clear.
Yeah.
Whenever he's ready.
It's wild when you just kind of sit back. I'm having to learn the be still.
Yeah.
The be still thing. Because I'm a hustler by nature. I have to make things happen. The more I was doing that, the further I was getting. And the more delayed I was getting. But when I met Josiah through Juliet, do you know Juliet? And
she's Mrs. Greenville.
Yes.
She's coming on in a few weeks. I've never met her.
You'll love her. Angel. Okay, so I met Josiah through her and her husband for his upstate. Anyways, I was telling him kind of a little bit about the story and about the nonprofit, and I just told him, he's like, why haven't you done anything with it? And I said, well, I'm an esthetician. I'm not a business person. I'm literally just an esthetician. I've taken it as far as I feel like I can take it, and I don't know what to do next. And I feel like when God wants me to meet the person who's supposed to show me what to do, and then he kind of got quiet, and he was like, ugh, and he kind of looks up because I think he's a believer-ish, I think.
Josiah?
Mm-hmm.
He's, I think so. He's been on a journey, and we talked about it, and he would categorize himself today as a believer. I would categorize him, and just in he's a good person. He's got a good heart. Great heart. But he looked up and he was kind of like, oh, yeah, God is funny. Because I kept saying, like, God's so funny. And he's like, yeah, because I know the person. I'm like, what? And then he introduced me to his friend
who works in nonprofits, and just conversations I've been able to have, like one after the other, the time I met you. It's just being able to talk about it and meet people who are up to things like this. So, yeah, I know that God is also trying to teach me to have faith, be active also in my work, but just like let him handle it too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which is very hard.
So I have to ask about this before we move on. So SmartFace, I always enjoy diving into why people name their businesses what they do.
Uh-huh.
So, SmartFace, tell me about it.
SmartFace. I thought it just sounded cool together. It was like, it was one night, it was actually my ex and I, when we lived in Dallas, we were about a bottle and a half of wine deep, just like, what about this name? What about that name? And we just kind of threw out SmartFace, because one of my big things is education. And I talk a lot to my clients about skincare and about their skin. And I want to make sure they understand what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I want them to maintain their results going forward. They're very much a part of their own results. And so just knowledge, education, and this was before Instagram and TikTok. So there really wasn't much knowledge out there on skincare. So we just kind of put facials, knowledge, SmartFace. It just kind of ripped it all together.
Yeah.
And then I said it out loud a few times. Might have been a little bit tipsy. And I was like, yeah, let's go with that.
Nothing super deep.
No.
Just sounded good.
Nothing.
Hey, that's like how you roll with the world, I guess. It's like this lady opens this door and somebody's getting a facial. I want to do that.
Literally, that's how I do everything.
I want to name my business SmartFace. That sounds pretty cool. I think I'll just roll with it.
I don't take anything too deep. I know. And I think I should sometimes, but I'm like, this is easy, right? Oh, let's start this. Oh, this is easy. I'm just like, I'll just go with it. It's fine.
Sure. All right. Well, let's get into a little bit of the deeper stuff, some of the nuts and bolts about the esthetician part of it. So skin issues can really affect somebody's confidence.
Yeah.
Obviously you see all that, or you see that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is it? So what are some of the things people struggle with in their face, in their facial skin, and how are you helping them?
Oh my gosh, that's a very broad question. And I cover all of it. Like, I always want to know too. I always ask my clients, what are you struggling with? Like, what do you not love about your skin?
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Just for a little more practicality. So if somebody reaches out to you via your website or however they do, and they want to set up a meeting, and like, walk us through the things that you find out so you know how to help.
Sure. So they book an appointment so there's first time client spot. All first time clients get an extra 30 minutes because we have to sit and talk about their skin. So much how you sent me a link to fill out a form beforehand, mm-hmm. My clients fill out a questionnaire, and everything on there from what goals do you have for your skin on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. How would you rate your skin right now? What challenges or concerns are you having with your skin? And then when they come in, I go through it with them and I go a little deeper. So if they rate their skin, let's say they rate their skin a 5. I'm like, okay, well, how do you feel out of 5? Are you really satisfied with a 5, or do you feel like you've got a long way to go? Because it's really important, because some people put a 5 and let's say 3 months ago they were a 1. So 5 could be great for them. Or somebody could put a 5 and they really want their skin to be a 10. And so 5 is awful for them. So we have to get really clear on where they feel they are on the spectrum of just how pleased are they with their skin. Goals. Someone might have a wedding coming up and I want my skin to look like glass for my wedding. That's a big one. A lot of concerns that people struggle with. And there are true skin disorders: acne, eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, a lot of autoimmune issues in the skin, rosacea. So there's so many, and they do affect people deeply in their confidence. So what I always ask, because really skincare is very personal, I want to know first what they see in their skin that bothers them and how it affects them. And I'll go with that first. So if somebody comes to me and they say that they are really just struggling with hyperpigmentation, which is brown spots, right? But I noticed that they've got some pretty clogged pores, and I would say a grade 2 acne. I treat what they're concerned with first, because that's what's going to make them the happiest. But while I'm, doing their facial, I'm curating it to also treat the issues that I see. But I'm focusing on, with them, the issues that they bring to light for me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard everything from dull skin, like sagging skin. I feel puffy. Women can pick themselves apart. They really do. And I would say, honestly, 80% of the people that come to me with massive amounts of concerns have pretty perfect skin.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I really try to help them also see.
Are they just in their own headspace?
Yeah. And with everybody's doing so many selfies now and social media, we're on the camera on Zoom. We're looking at our faces way too much, and scrutinizing every little wrinkle and pore. Like, people say, I just want my pores to go away. Well, that can't happen. People really just don't even understand that that's genetically how your body's made. So we're just really looking at too many filters, too many edited photos. So I focus really on helping them also see the beauty in their skin, even with the flaws that they see, so realistic expectations too. That's why you'll never see a filtered picture of me anywhere on my websites, on social media. I want my clients to, this is what my skin looks like. And pictures that I post, I never edit them. If they're of my client's skin, it's just not real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in doing that.
Yeah. No. That's why I like being a guy.
You don't have to worry about it?
Guys don't care.
You don't care?
No.
That must be nice. I don't care, but I know.
By and large, no, guys don't care. Like, yeah. I'm always humored by this whole thing that women may be upset towards the guys who have great hair, great skin, great eyelashes, and don't even do anything.
Yeah, I get that. Because they spend a lot of money.
They do.
Eyelashes, hair. Like, some people, extensions, like it's effort.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I usually get rounds of applause if I'm talking with, and there's a large group of ladies, if I happen to be in that situation, and I tell them that I finally figured out why y'all have to go through like 15 different types of hair conditioner for your hair. Like, most guys are like, why is there 12 different, like, just pick one. I had to do the same thing for my beard. Because, I condition it, and you can tell the difference after you get out of the shower and you do whatever. I can literally feel in my beard which ones worked and which ones didn't.
See? Yeah, you can tell.
And so they're like, yeah, somebody gets it, and so and people ask me about my beard. No, it doesn't. I don't wake up in the morning and it's straight like this.
You blow dry it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's small round brush, blow dryer. You got to like pull and blow.
I feel like that needs to be a video tutorial.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning and it's a total mess.
That's funny. See, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it is. So have you... I'm sure you have. You've had to have had clients whose life or confidence really changed after working with you.
Yes. And I have clients in San Diego that have been with me since the beginning. And, when I say I'm more about maybe their experience, no, I'm very diligent in making sure that their skin is well taken care of. My clients see insane results. That's why I think my clients stay with me so long, is because they're also getting the results. They're getting that experience, but they're not going to not get results with me. I really know what I'm doing. I'm a very good esthetician. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you can clear somebody's chronic acne and the tears of joy that they can now tell you, like, I don't have to wear makeup, I don't have to cover my skin, there's nothing better than that.
Sure.
There's nothing better than that. Or if somebody has, chronic issues with psoriasis or eczema and they're just uncomfortable, when you can give them solutions to feel better and to feel pretty. Like, when you don't feel pretty, you just feel kind of bad about yourself. And then it just, when you can help somebody feel pretty,
yeah,
it makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is if you look good, you feel good.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think it was Deion Sanders years ago. don't know if you know who that is. Sports
I'm
athlete.
Yes.
Used to play for the Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys.
See, I just
Right.
say he was Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, but I mean, he said something to the effect that, about the way he dressed, and he said basically, when you dress good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you play good,
Yeah.
and when you play good, you get paid good.
There you go. And it's true.
It all just.
It all factors.
Yeah.
Performance.
I just, and just basically from what we were talking about earlier, though, is biblically focused in the love of Christ and loving other people as we were. I understand people want to look nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish people could see beyond somebody's acne.
Yeah.
And see the person.
I do too. Believe me, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that these men and women, they can't see past their own.
You have to be that you're embarrassed to go outside without,
or you feel like you have to cover it up, and you don't want to stand in front of a camera. It's heartbreaking. Or these women who put so much Botox and filler in their face because they're trying to fix something that somebody told them is wrong with them. Like, it's really sad.
There's nothing wrong with you.
Nothing. No. But it's the aesthetic that we're chasing, and it's all due to, I think, all what we see online. It's all. Yeah. It's altered reality of what people should look like. So now we feel like we have to alter ourselves.
Yeah. Like you said, it's filters, it's those just right camera angles and lighting and all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's the person who built a set that looks like an airplane. And so they're sitting in it, pretending that they're on some plane, and they're teaching you about blah, 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 because they want to look important.
Yeah.
You're not on an airplane. You're not on a private jet. It's the dude who paid this guy $300 so he could stand next to his Lamborghini and take a photo for his dating profile.
Yes, and then meanwhile, all the young people looking at that are like, oh, I got to get to that. Yeah. That's what they're chasing, not knowing it's fake. It's like these young girls looking at these beautiful photos of women online, but those are not real faces. Now these little girls are holding that as beauty standard.
Right.
And there's a point with acne, too, where it's painful. And that's sad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it can cause a lot of pain, especially like you get to grade 3 and 4, which is where you see a lot of that swelling in the nodules of the skin. That's more, they would honestly probably have to see a doctor at that point. Estheticians can't really treat that, but it is very heartbreaking. But yeah, we all hold ourselves to an unrealistic standard based on what we're conditioned to see.
Right.
And that was a lot. I saw a lot of that in San Diego and in LA. Like, people just don't look like people anymore.
I've visited San Diego a few times. I lived in Southern California about 20 years. There's just got to be a lot of superficial stuff in San Diego.
And that's why I was very glad to move here. Everybody is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. But very altered, like a lot of cosmetic surgeries, fillers, way too young. Athletic wise, everybody, you're out, it's 70 degrees all day, every day. People are athletic there. It's very healthy. But yeah, it's superficial, very superficial.
Mm-hmm. So what's the difference, generally speaking, between men's and women's skin?
Oh my gosh. I think the only similarity is that it's skin. It's very different. It's very different. It's so different, in fact, that I really don't work on a lot of men because I really specialize in treating the female.
What's different about it?
Oil production, texture, pore size, just everything. Everything.
Sure. I mean, I guess for skin issues or skin composition or whatever, I mean, obviously men have hormones, but it's very different. Because obviously we're not, our bodies are made for different purposes. Yeah. And so a female's body is designed and created for giving birth. And then you go through the whole menopause thing.
And hormones play such a role in how your skin looks and feels.
So who does take care of men's skin professionally speaking?
A lot of people do. And it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't, but you would probably find somebody who has more products and devices geared towards that. My female clients are more for they want circulation, sculpting. We do a lot of microcurrent.
What? Microcurrent?
It's a device that does lymphatic drainage and helps to drain fluid. It gives you more of a defined jawline.
But it's that thing my wife was using. She hadn't used it in a while, but after her stroke, like all of the right side of her body's impacted. And of course the face her smile was crooked for a long time just because the muscle control over here wasn't very great. There's just I don't know. It's like this kind of, I don't know if it's made of marble or stone, but you just kind of press it on your face.
Oh, yeah, the gua sha.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Y'all do that stuff?
I don't.
That's
I
fine.
do the
I
same,
don't know.
I do the same thing with a machine.
Okay.
Same thing.
What's the purpose of that?
So the current can go really deep into the tendons. And for me, holding that stone, my hands, I can't hold on to that thing for that long. My hands get tired.
Yeah.
So for me, the machine goes a lot deeper into the tissue. And then it also helps create microcirculation. So you just get a lot more than just the stone moving fluid.
Okay.
You get that benefit plus it helps to tighten. There's a tendon that connects everything and that gets kind of loose. So you can tighten that, make it stronger, kind of like if you went and did 100 bicep curls right now,
right,
your muscle would be tight and you would feel a pump, right? It does that for the face.
Okay.
So it gives you a temporary plumpness. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's I love it to create cell energy. So it just gives the skin a really pretty glow.
Cell energy.
Uh-huh.
I've never heard that phrase.
Your little mitochondria?
Well, I don't know what a mitochondria is. I remember it from middle school biology.
So here's the way that
is that the thing that's all tangled up in there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what it looks like. I remember I barely graduated high school.
Fair.
So I don't remember.
That's fair.
What I do know. So here's how I make this very simple, because I always need things explained very simply to me too. I'm not a scientist, so I can't go into the science-y explanations because I just sound ridiculous. But what I'm really known for and what I specialize in with my clients is giving their skin this really beautiful kind of glow from within. So a lot of people complain about having dull, lackluster skin. So when that happens, your cells are basically out of energy. They're tired. So it's like before they've had their coffee. So we use things like red light therapy, microcurrent, really gentle chemical peels to invigorate the cell and provide it with energy so that it's caffeinated again. It's happy. It's bouncing around.
Yeah.
It's plump. It's doing its job, which is fighting free radicals, helping to produce collagen, elastin. This is waking those cells back up, because when they're asleep, they're sluggish, they're slow. You get saggy, dull, tired, not high cell turnover. You just kind of look old and tired. So we want to look youthful and young. And that's what these things do.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, people never think of themselves. I mean, you just think of yourself as you.
Yeah.
I'm just me. I'm this person in this body, but you are a giant collection of cells.
That's all.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we quote unquote wake them up.
You gotta wake them up. They get tired.
Yeah.
They release toxic waste. Our cells do, and that just kind of gets stagnant in there too. So it's helping flush. There's a term for that. What is it called? I don't know. Like I said, not a scientist.
Yeah.
But it's flushing cell waste, producing healthy, juicy, happy, plump cells. So they just make your skin look prettier.
Mm-hmm.
That is the simplest way that I can explain it.
You said earlier, I wasn't totally surprised, maybe a little, that you said in some cases it almost doesn't matter what you put on your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, what should people put on their skin?
So, okay, everybody, I believe, needs a core 4. I'm very solid on a core 4. You need a really good cleanser that is specific for your skin type. You need a treatment serum, again, specific for your skin type, your concerns, your goals. Eye cream, I think, is a must. And moisturizer. Those are core 4.
Okay.
And everybody's skin is different, so different cleanser for everybody. A lot of people will throw sunscreen in there. I'm not anti-sunscreen, but I'm not a big
proponent.
No.
Thereof.
And I don't think I'm allowed to say that as an esthetician, but I don't think it's that good.
Well, you just said it.
I know. Ugh. Yeah.
It's America. You can say whatever you want to.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, I don't think sunscreen is the best for you if you're not really out in this. Like if you're going on a 20-mile hike in the heat of day, sure.
Sure.
Put a zinc sunscreen on. But yeah, I don't wear
So the core
sunscreen.
4, would you say the
Cleanser,
moisturizer,
serum, eye cream, and a moisturizer.
Okay. I'm going to make my daughter listen to this episode. She's 13 and she has...
Okay, if she's 13, she just needs a cleanser and a moisturizer.
Yeah, I know, but she has a whole routine, man, and she's all about
At 13, I had no idea what skincare was. Does she have a TikTok probably?
No.
Instagram? She has friends that do.
Instagram.
She's got friends that do.
Yeah.
They know more about skincare at 13 years old than I know at 41. They blow my mind.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
You know, her little like pimple patches.
Mm-hmm.
If you have
yeah,
one.
those are not good.
Not good for you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm going to tell her. Della, I hope you listen to this podcast. Kimberly, who's a professional esthetician, said no bueno on the pimple patches.
No, they're usually not good. But yeah, that's just what comes with access to information.
Yeah.
It's so much information. And this is also where I get a lot of clients who are doing too much. It's way better to do less with your skin. They're on everything from the dang TikTok shop.
Yeah.
They're using this and that and this. I'm like, you have wrecked.
So your skin's freaking out because like it's constantly receiving new stuff.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know what to do with all this.
And that's what's important, I think, now more than ever, to have a professional esthetician to guide you on what to use. And I put all my clients on my products. And people ask me this all the time. They're like, well, why are yours the best? I'm like, no. There's a million skincare products out there. There's no way mine are the best. But I know them. I know them inside and out. And I know exactly how it's going to react with each other and with the services that I'm doing on you. If I do these treatments on you and then you go home and you buy XYZ from TikTok shop and then you go to Target and buy this and you have a reaction, I cannot really help you with that. My products I know inside and out. So I can really usually prevent any type of reactions. But if something happens, I can troubleshoot it. That's why my clients have to be on my products.
Sure. I don't know if this is your realm. I mean, it is, face wash. I mean, I'm probably 90%. I'm 95% of men. I don't have a skincare routine.
Well, you do now. It's in there.
Yeah, I suppose. But, I basically wash my face with all the lather from my shampoo off my beard and on my head. And I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. I just feel like soap is soap. But come on, tell me I'm wrong.
I can't. Because I'm looking at your face right now. I can't. And this is also what I run into this a lot of time with clients. Like, this is why it's like you can almost put anything on your face kind of thing. Some people can't. Some people's skin is very reactive or sensitive. And if I did that with my face, it might freak out. Who knows? I had a client, gosh, I think I was 26 years old. And I think she was 85. And she washed her face her whole life with Dawn dish soap. The woman didn't have a wrinkle on her face. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. And I have no other solutions for you.
Wow.
Keep doing that. Because her skin was perfect.
Yeah.
She was 80-something years old.
I mean, there's got to be a lot that's going in, though. Because like we said, there is genetics. There's also, like, what are you putting in your body?
She was genetically blessed.
Yeah, what's your food intake? How much water are you drinking?
Exactly.
All that plays a role.
You could get a whole new routine if you wanted to try something new. But if what you're doing is working for you, and I see as a professional esthetician, nothing like for me, if I'm not looking under my mag, but I'm like, oh, you're very irritated skin, would try something else. But you're not doing anything wrong, so I can't tell you that you're wrong. You might want to throw a little moisturizer in there, but
all right, I'll keep it in mind. All right, you hear that, men? We're not doing it wrong.
If your skin looks like yours, if they're all inflamed and dry and crusty, I'm gonna say don't do that.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But also, what shampoo are you using? I'm pretty sure you're using a good shampoo.
Yeah, so my wife is an essential oil person, and she there's a company called doTERRA.
Oh, I saw your hand soap. Yeah, you're using a good shampoo.
That's her. She's the wife. She controls all that stuff. I just use what she puts out.
Sure. Okay, that's also why it's a good product.
Yeah, so I use the doTERRA shampoo and conditioner for my beard, and it comes out pretty good.
Yeah, then that's probably fine for your face.
Yeah, that's good. All right, well, at this juncture, I think we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, we are back. Had to take a quick little break, but we're going to jump back into it. And before we move on, you did bring some product here from SF Ceuticals. No, Ceuticals. Sorry.
It's okay.
I know. Whenever I first read that, I was so I was confused. My mind just went to cuticles, and I'm like, skincare and the little things on your fingernails.
No.
Because they're not quite a homophone, but they're close.
Close.
But you brought some stuff that SF dadgummit,
It's okay.
Ceuticals. These are 4 different products. You've got a soothing cleanse.
Yes.
So what would you use this for?
That is to wash your face. Wash
Fair
your face. You can wash your body with it. I do.
Gentle foaming face wash. But you wash your face with it, but okay, so what are women using at the end of the day when they want to remove all their makeup? This?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And this is for the dudes if you just want to wash your face.
This is for dudes if you want to wash your face.
Then you don't need to take off makeup. So, and then you have Bounce.
Yes.
I don't even know. How do you say that word?
Hyaluronic acid?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So it's pure hydration. So it's a gel texture. So people who really like a lightweight formula love this one. I prefer to mix Bounce with my other products. So it's called Bounce because it adds bounce and volume to the skin. Mm-hmm. So it has hyaluronic acid, which is really well known in the skincare industry to, it's a humectant. So it draws water and moisture to itself. So it will help to add volume to the skin through hydration.
Okay. That seems a little counterintuitive. It's not. It's just that, that's not normally what we think of when we hear the word acid.
Exactly. It's a hydrating acid. So you have your exfoliating acids in skincare, like your glycolic, your lactic, salicylic, those are exfoliating acids. And then you have your hydrating acid, like hyaluronic acid.
Okay. So you would put this serum on, obviously, after you wash your face.
Yep, exactly.
And then this other one is Boost.
Boost, yes.
Also a serum.
Also a serum.
What does it do?
So Boost, it does literally what it says. It boosts the moisture in the skin with peptides. So peptides are amino acid chains that help. These specific peptides are anti-aging peptides. So they help stimulate collagen. They help revitalize elastin fibers and add hydration to the skin.
Okay. Quick question. I don't know if you know the answer to it. I mean, you're obviously in the industry, but what makes something a serum?
So serums are typically, I do know the answer to this. Serums are your targeted treatments, which just really means that they have a deeper concentration of active ingredients.
Okay.
So it is a treatment dosage. I'm using dosage in quotation mark fingers, but so highly potent in antioxidants, vitamins, whatever the active ingredient is, it's going to be really concentrated. And usually the delivery system breaks down those ingredients in such a way that they're more bioavailable to the cell.
Got it.
Versus a moisturizer is going to sit more on the surface because that is your barrier protection.
Uh-huh. And bioavailable simply means that the cell is going to actually absorb
it can use it.
What's put on it.
Or it can use it, or it has receptors that know what to do with that specific ingredient.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it can use it.
It's going to take it in and do whatever it does.
Exactly.
Got it. And then you've got Drench, which is hydration?
That's a true moisturizer. So Drench is, when we talk about the barrier of the skin and why I say the moisturizer is last, it sits on top. It basically seals everything in and prevents, in skincare, you'll hear this a lot. It's TEWL, T-E-W-L, transepidermal water loss. We're always evaporating water off the surface of our skin, which can lead to skin looking and feeling dehydrated. So when you're putting on your really potent serums, you lose a lot of that through evaporation. So you want to seal in your serums and your natural skin moisture with an occlusive barrier. And Drench is that. Plus, it has ingredients that help with psoriasis, eczema, inflammation. So any kind of skin irritation, dry, Drench is great for that. But that's just an overall great basic moisturizer.
How can people get this stuff?
On my website.
Just order it on the website?
You can order it on the website, or you can also just get it by coming in to the spa, saying hi, and buying it off the shelf.
I usually ask this later in the show, but since we're on it, we'll ask it right now. So what is the website?
SkincareThatServes.com is the website for the product.
Okay. And where is your brick and mortar?
So I'm on the Parkway in Greer.
Okay. Monday through Friday, Saturday?
It's kind of by appointment only. I'm not
Oh,
there
really?
set times all currently. So it's by appointment only. So you can DM me on Instagram if you want product.
And the Instagram handle is?
What is it? SmartFace_GVL. I don't want to say I'm bad at social media. I don't want to speak that over myself, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
SmartFace_GVL.
Yes.
And people can just DM you there to set an
Yes.
appointment.
But the easiest thing, if you just want product or just want to scope out the products, is skincarethatserves.com.
All right. So you can pick up Soothing Cleanse, Bounce, Boost, and Drench from the website. And you brought these very graciously. I'm curious, though, and for those of us who are ignorant and not sure exactly what order these go in, it is printed on the bottle. Step 1,
Yes.
Step 2,
Yep.
Step 4. What's Step 3?
Step 3 is an eye cream, which I didn't bring you because we're sold out because it's
Oh.
very popular.
Really?
So I gave you 2 serums. You can
Okay.
use 2 serums.
Sure. So what's the eye cream? What's it doing? Eliminating crow's feet or what?
It's hydration. So alpha lipoic acid is one of my favorite ingredients to use in skincare. So my eye cream is called Alpha Eye. It's all about just, again, adding that cell energy to give a really pretty glow. And then there's also caffeine in there, so it helps with dark circles. But it's a great barrier for that thin skin around the eyes. You can use it on the eyelid. It just gives a really nice plumpness to the skin.
Yeah. So, obviously, skincare is a massive industry.
Yes.
You know, my 13-year-old is the poster child for that because at 13, you figure you got great skin anyway because you're 13, generally speaking.
Yeah.
You know, and so you don't really need a skincare routine at 12, 13 years old. But, you know, as you get older, for various reasons, what are some of the biggest myths people believe about skincare?
More is more. Expensive is better. You mean as far as products?
Oh, whatever. I'm just asking the question. That it can be, maybe it's too broad, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's a ton. And again, that's why I think it's important to always just find a professional esthetician to talk to, because it's hard to navigate on your own. There's so many myths out there. The expensive brands are the best brand, that you need a really complicated skincare routine to get results, that you can't achieve certain things. Like I've seen it all. Some people think that they're just beyond hope or help.
Yeah.
That's why it's always, I really just believe talking to a professional licensed esthetician is the best way to get skincare advice.
In the major skincare, I don't even know if they're skincare or their makeup or they're blending their worlds together, like Maybelline and L'Oreal.
Mm-hmm.
They're offering these products that do blah blah blah. I don't know, but do those companies also sell actual makeup? Are they?
I think so.
All this, like, they're doing both, right?
L'Oreal and
Maybelline and like the major brands, you know, because they would have.
L'Oreal has some skincare, I'm pretty sure. Maybelline, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, you could go into like say Sephora and find all kinds of stuff. What's that other one that my daughter is interested in? I don't know. I just don't know what's. Because, again, I'm a guy and skincare is not really my deal, but I figure there's got to be myths out there that people believe. But I do really like what you said earlier about how you put all your clients on your product, not because they're necessarily, quote unquote, the best, but you know everything
I know
that's
them.
in there.
I know these products, yes.
Yeah. So if they can get in with a licensed esthetician and figure out what's going on with their skin. I would imagine most people don't really know everything that's going on with their skin, and so they know a few
don't
things,
at all.
and they go into Walmart or Target and just read a few quick labels and grab something off the shelf.
Yeah, and what happens is you end up getting a couple products from this brand and a couple from this, and you have to be very careful mixing different formulations. This vitamin C might be formulated in a way that reacts negatively with this other product that you're putting on. So you're mixing chemicals is what you're doing. And that's why people have I've seen more sensitive skin and skin irritation and rashes on skin in the last 5 to 7 years than I ever have. And it's just because we all have so much more access to skincare, but we're just kind of using any and everything that looks good on the internet or it's just available to grab. So you do have to be very careful with mixing products and just throwing anything on your skin because they are chemical.
Yeah. So on a very small, I mean, you're irritating your skin because,
Oh, for
you're
sure.
quote unquote, I don't know if burning it is the right.
You could, yeah.
You could, yeah.
That barrier that I was talking about earlier on our skin is it's delicate. It has to be the perfect blend of lipid and water. And a lot of products will destroy that barrier. And that's where you get the sensitivities of the skin. If you're using something way too acidic for your skin type or way too astringent, your barrier you'll hear this in aesthetics, a lot of compromised barrier. Well, your skin being the largest organ it helps with your immunity. And now if your face is just chronically inflamed, then you get the perioral dermatitis, the rashes, the redness, the irritation. And for some people it's uncomfortable. Some people it just doesn't look pretty.
Right.
But yeah.
So go to a licensed esthetician.
Go to a licensed esthetician.
And let them.
When in doubt.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to go to a licensed esthetician, just use less product.
Yeah.
Don't mix a bunch of things together.
I think it's, we live in this age with social media and quote unquote influencers,
Yes.
And influencers, by and large, influencers don't know anything about the product they're hawking. They have, for whatever reason, a large following, and this company wanted to get a piece of their pie.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, can you promote this product? And people are trying to wade through so much information.
It's too much information. That's it. And I spend a lot of time fixing faces that, well, I saw this influencer using so-and-so, and I saw this on TikTok. Like, I spend a lot of time fixing that. And it usually starts with fixing somebody's barrier. That's usually where I have to start with clients now, is barrier repair. And that's what all of these 4 products that I have here, that's what we start with. They don't get any of the fun stuff until we fix their barrier, like the retinols, the acids, the skin brighteners, none of that until we fix the barrier.
All right, I have a question for you. Yeah, I'm curious, because you said I can use this on my skin.
Yeah.
My wife will use this much more than I will, just to be honest. I'm curious, though, when would be a good time for me to use? Should I use this soothing cleanse? Like, if I'm going to shave, I'm going to take a shower. It's going to be hot. I'm going to get out. My skin's going to be pliable. The hair is going to be soft. It makes it easier to shave. But now I've just run a razor over my skin.
These are all fine for that.
Okay, I just didn't know if it's going to be too sensitive and
these
roughed
are all
up.
fine for that. There are certain products that I would say don't put it on after you shave. It's going to light you on fire. But no, these are all actually would be better after you shave. After the skin's a little bit exfoliated, has been warmed up in the shower, much more easy to absorb. These are all reparative, hydrating, restorative ingredients. Nothing harsh, nothing exfoliating. Yeah, we have those. My skincare line definitely has those, but these are all good. All good post shave.
Nice. I'm gonna try it out, dadgummit.
I think you're gonna like it.
I'm just gonna do it.
Dude, see, I think you're gonna get addicted to it.
Oh man, that could be a problem.
Skincare junkie.
Yeah, no, we'll start we'll start promoting SF Ceuticals on Sunday afternoon.
And you said it right.
Yeah, I just have to purposely do it.
Yeah, it's hard.
So entrepreneurship. Obviously, you started SmartFace. You moved out here. You started another SmartFace. And now you've launched. I mean, I assume SF is just short for SmartFace.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
SF Ceuticals. So people see the finished product, right? They see that you have a spa and that you have a brand and a social media presence. Although, admittedly, you said you're not great at social media.
Terrible.
I'm not either. Yeah,
Terrible.
whatever. I just do it because you have to, right?
Yep.
But from the business owner startup standpoint, what does it look like, the day-to-day discipline of running this business? What does it actually take?
That's the best word, is discipline. Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline, especially to keep all 3 going. it takes passion too, and I think I mentioned a little earlier, when you are trying to get over, I don't know if you've ever actually been burnt out from career or life. Like, it's not a small thing to come back from, like, and trying to keep everything going while your life is falling apart and you're burnt out, you lose a little of that passion. And that's where discipline has to kick in. I'm getting to a place now where that burnout isn't there anymore. That passion is really coming back full strength, and I'm like ready to take this company to the next level. But the day-to-day, you mean like, what do I do all day?
I don't know. I mean, I just, the day-to-day disciplines of running your business. Like, how are you going to grow SmartFace Greenville? Like, what are you doing? I mean, because you had obviously well established in San Diego,
Yeah,
and is growing. And I don't know what you did to grow over there. I would imagine the people in San Diego are everything over there in California. And I know, because I lived in Southern California for 20 years, even though it wasn't San Diego, but it's everywhere in Southern California. It's very visually driven.
mm-hmm.
It's very social. So, like, going to a spa, making sure you look perfect all the time. It's just how things are.
Yep.
So you open up a spa, and I don't want to make it sound super easy. It's not that you have instant clients, but I feel like it's easier there than it is here. Is it? It just seems a little bit of a different culture.
It's different culture, but honestly, it is a lot the same, because I'm not reinventing the wheel. And when I trained my estheticians, when I trained people, or people ask like, well, how do you grow? I said, I found one thing that works, and I just do it 100% all the time, repeatedly, without changing it or stopping. I treat people really well. I'm a very good esthetician. I want to get to know the person, and I make it all about them. And that's what I do. And they send their friends, and they send their friends. And I have grown without doing I never did any marketing in San Diego, never advertised. It all grew word of mouth. So that's what worked for me. And I just found the one thing that worked, and I just repeated it without ever making an excuse of stopping. It's consistency.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing here. So I wish that I had this formula that was a lot more profound, and like, here's I'm marketing here, and I'm like, no.
It's basically just love and serve people.
Yeah, you just find a few good people to trust you in the beginning, and then plant those seeds, and it grows. Just have faith. Keep talking about what you do. Just do the thing that you do consistently, and don't try to reinvent the wheel or stress yourself out or make it. This time in Greenville, I'm just having fun. Like, right now I'm just seeing, I don't want to do it full time yet. I'm just having fun. I missed seeing people. I missed working on clients, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just seeing what's out here. But yeah, when I opened San Diego, this again is before social media. So that was all just getting to know people, grassroots marketing, going to networking events, networking meetings, any way I could meet people, I was there. And I'm the shyest person on the planet. So this was way out of my comfort zone. I hated it, but I knew what I had to do, and I was good at it, and I just did it on repeat.
Yeah. I hate mixers.
I hate it.
I hate them.
I hate networking. It's not, okay, I don't hate them. I'm very shy, and I'm very introverted, and talking about myself is almost like, I'm very shy.
Sure.
And so it's the last thing I want to do. I will be tempted to cancel 100 times before I always show up when I tell myself that I'm going to show up, but I'm always like, I wish I didn't have to go to this thing that I committed to, but it's how I grew.
Sure. My podcast, to me, is my networking, because I'm always interviewing entrepreneurs, and this is easy for me because we're having a purposeful conversation.
Uh-huh.
But if somebody invited me to a mixer, and there's going to be 150 local entrepreneurs, business professionals there, and if I went, I'd hate every minute of it.
Me too.
Like, just because I'm not, and I don't know that people would agree with me about this, but I'm not the guy in a crowd of strangers that likes to go and talk to people.
Nope, me
and
neither.
Introduce himself and just.
Yeah, I'm not either.
That's not.
But sometimes I'll make myself do it, because I know if I can meet one, and I know that I'm going to meet the person that I need to meet.
Yeah.
And there's a reason I meet them, and it's happened too many times for me to deny. I know if I just go, I'm going to meet that one person, and then that's all I need.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just one.
So how are you running a business all the way back in San Diego, living in South Carolina?
How?
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask myself.
hard.
It's easy and hard. Sometimes it's almost too easy. I have a really great team. They are pretty self-sufficient, like right now, and I have the benefit of they're 3 hours ahead of us. So I'm going to go and do esthetician training after this, and it's not late for them. So, and that's just, I'll have to do that until she's trained. I'm training my front desk coordinator. She's transitioning into esthetician. So, but then I'll go a whole week and won't even talk to them. Like it just some days it's 8 hours, some days it's 3 minutes.
Right.
But I spent a lot of time dialing in my systems, putting them operationally into a manual. I spent the entire summer there with them.
So the business runs itself. Nice.
Yeah, I went back over the summer, spent 3 months solid with them, operational systems training. They know everything we do is a system. Our consultation, our client checkout, our pass the ball where we pass the client to the front desk to get them pre-booked. It's all systematized.
Nice.
So, I mean, I have people who work there that I didn't hire, that I met months after they started working. So yeah, it does run itself. It's fun.
Yeah, good for you. I know you're passionate about serving people, and obviously about your products, but you did mention to me that your real passion is teaching and training estheticians.
Yeah.
In what way?
So, in a few ways. So, when you go to aesthetic school, you really don't learn anything about being an esthetician. You just get the knowledge you need to pass your state board exam and blah, blah, blah.
I feel like that's everything.
That's everything. It's everything. And so, I'm definitely passionate about teaching them how to excel and love their craft, but to operate in the top 1% in our industry. A lot of estheticians get out of school, rarely find a flourishing job. My goal is to bring my estheticians to where that they can really have an enjoyable life. And that usually is by being able to earn a really substantial income for themselves. And we do that through systems training. You don't learn that at any other place. So that's what I really focus on pouring into them, is that before they ever go into the treatment room with clients, that they know how to operate as an individual business, because otherwise you can't sustain, and then you can't help anybody if you can't really sustain in the industry. So if your goal is to serve people for the long haul, you have to learn how to professionally operate the business of it too. Otherwise, you're just a bleeding heart and you're not going to make much of an impact.
Right. Yeah.
So teaching them to operate at the top 1% of industry standards in our field.
Nice. Good for you. And that's the difference between building a sustainable business and having a skill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
It's about I mean, it's about, if you have a skill, you can build a business around it, but you have to put systems in place to make it repeatable.
You have to. Otherwise, you won't survive.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a good run, and that's where I was headed, and I had to learn that. We had a great run, and I told you earlier, I think God kept like, hey, you're doing this wrong. I was running when I moved to Greenville. I was still a full-time esthetician in the treatment room there. So I had this notion that I would leave and everything would be fine. My team had no systems. Well, they were in my head. They had no clarity on how to operate without me. I created mass chaos in my company. And after a few months, that's why I went back for the summer. Because I'm like, I just kicked the entire leadership out from under this thing and expected it to fly, because I needed to leave. I had to get out of San Diego. I just needed to breathe. So I went back over the summer and then dialed all the systems in and made all the expectations known. Now they have massive clarity on the expectations, and now that's why it can run itself. It didn't happen because I knew that's what I was supposed to do. I almost lost my business again because I didn't do that in the first place. And I had the opportunity to have a wake-up call again on my own, to be like, look at yourself, look what you did. I was like, okay. So I went back, had to rent an apartment in San Diego for the whole summer, which...
Oh, boy.
You're not kidding. while I just bought my house here. So drove back with my dog, lived there for 3 months again, came back, and it's been, great since. We're still growing, but had to go save it again.
Yeah.
But now we're all systems dialed in, and I learned a very valuable lesson about stewarding your people and stewarding your company. I did a very foolish thing by just thinking, oh, it's always been fine because I was the main service provider. I was the one keeping everything afloat. They were just kind of there like, oh, well, Kim's here. They didn't really have to know what to do. Everything relied on me. Well, there's no more me. And I got a real lesson in stewardship. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, when they hit that growth section, I mean, it's hard to let go, but you have to train people to do your business if you want it to scale, if you want it to grow.
Yeah.
Which means teaching people how to do certain things and you relinquishing some control and finding the right people you can do that with.
Yep. It's all about the right people.
Yeah, and you've got to take care of them because they can go work for anybody.
Yep. It's true.
All right, just a couple of closing questions, and then we can wrap this up. How has this work changed how you see yourself?
Well, that's a good question. I think that this work has changed everything about me. I think it's molded me. It's given me choices, do or die, stay the same or grow, sink or swim. And I've learned what I'm made of. I learned that I'll choose swim every time over sink. I learned how strong I am, what a fighter I am, that, I say it, I'm like, oh, I'm an esthetician, I'm not a business person. I joke about that, but deep down inside, I know that I actually am both. So this has taught me, that I'm pretty great at owning a business. And it's hard to say that out loud sometimes because we like to joke and dumb ourselves down, but this is the best school I've ever been to.
Mm-hmm. It's the school of life.
It's the school of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's haughty or I understand people like to I don't know if they do or not, but humility is a good thing and it's a good way to live. But the fact remains, if you're good at something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not being proud to say that you are good at something. It's just knowing the reality. That doesn't mean you're great at everything.
No.
But I know I'm good at this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good for you. And I think last, if somebody is listening to this podcast and they are struggling with their skin or confidence, what would you like them to know?
Well, so many things. Well, I would like them to know, first of all, that they're beautiful. But they can call me anytime. We can Zoom. We can do anything online, but I would like them to know first that they're very beautiful. That's the most important.
Oh, man. I've learned I dislike people in the aggregate. People as a just very large group.
Mm-hmm.
People suck. Mm-hmm. But on the individual basis, I love people a lot.
Yeah. People are cool.
Yeah, they are.
Uh-huh.
They are. And if somebody out there is listening to this episode and you're struggling with confidence, reach out. If you're struggling with your skin, of course, heck, even if you're not struggling with your skin, but you're struggling with confidence, send an email to sundayafternoonsmokes@gmail.com. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
I'd be happy just to help. I'm sure Kim said, same. You can call me, chat, Zoom, whatever. We just want to help
confidence in
people.
anything. Yeah.
There's no reason to live life in the dumps.
Zero reason. And when you realize how beautiful it is out of the dumps, you just want to keep everybody out of the dumps. You want to keep everybody out with you.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's it.
Well, look, I think that's everything that I had scheduled. Is there anything we didn't cover that you want to hit on?
I mean, we covered a lot. I think if it's not, clear, I love Jesus a lot.
Amen.
And if anybody listening has questions on that, I'm sure you'd be willing to talk to somebody. I would too.
I would be elated.
I always call myself a baby Christian. It's newish to me, but let me tell you, being set free is a gift I would never exchange for any amount of money, anything. So if anybody wants to know more about that, we're here.
Absolutely. 100%. And what was that again? You, the Greenville SmartFace location is where again?
In Greer.
It's in Greer.
In Greer, 420 the Parkway.
420 the Parkway in Greer. Reach out to, what is it, SmartFace_GVL?
Yes.
On Instagram?
Yes, on Instagram.
Yeah, DM for an appointment.
Yeah, or anything.
Or anything else.
Anything.
Yeah, sweet.
Just say hi.
Yeah, well, y'all get over to Instagram, give Kimberly and SmartFace a follow, and if you need a facial, get on over to the office in Greer and get it done. So I appreciate you listening to Sunday Afternoon Smokes. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, if you enjoy the show and you want to support it, the best thing you can do is just to give it a follow. Kimberly, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you've been listening to Sunday Afternoon Smokes. Share it with your friends, share it with your families, share it on your socials, and share it with the world, because Sunday Afternoon Smokes is really sweet. We'll talk to you soon.